When you can't really get what you really want in life, you've just got to fall back to your olden days patterns. For me, when it comes to reviewing games, it is always train games. But today it's kind of different. While usually train games require you to invest an intensive amount of time to learn the networks and transit intricacies, Unrailed is really different. But before actually talking about Unrailed proper, I'd like to circle back and go back to an old game I've played back in my day. Never spoke about this game on the channel as far as I know, but I think it's worth being mentioned in a review of Unrailed. And the game is called Journey. It is a PlayStation 3 game, and the optics of the game aren't so clear-cut as it starts. You see a destination and you are quite an undescript character roaming about. But the objective is clear-cut. You've got to carry on to the journey. And as you progress, you'll discover you are not alone in this world. You find special carpets that help you fly higher and faster. And then you discover someone else, just like you. Another random soul roaming about. And there is a way to communicate with the other players by making little beeps. And now you might really be wondering where I'm heading with all of that, but it's just to make a little bound with what we're gonna get in Unrailed. In the title of both games we get a great description of the objective. In Journey you must preserve and continue the journey. In Unrailed, you don't really want to unrail, but otherwise the journey is endless. One has a finite end that you know you'll eventually reach, while the other, even if you don't want to reach it, is inevitable. Communication between both games is also quite limited, but in Unrailed there is quite more substantial amount of communication. In Journey you must follow your instinct, but in Unrailed you gotta get work done if you don't want to unrail. Your mission is pretty basic. You have a train and you need to keep it running. For that you'll need to lay down tracks in front of it to give it a passage, and these tracks will be built using the resources that you'll extract from the land. So you'll need to mine some iron and you'll need to chop down some wood so you can combine them in the train to create more tracks that you then lay down and cut more trees and mine more dirt to allow more passage opening up for the train until you reach your objective, the other station after. And as soon as you lay down the last track connecting the train to the train station, that baby starts taking up some steam. And when that baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. And what I mean is that once you reach the station, you go into a parallel universe where you can upgrade and modify your train to your liking, depending on how much bolts you found on your mission. Yeah, so just like a reverse mechanic, you'll be looking for the 10mm bolt throughout every single levels. So as you progress, you'll see these golden bolts all over the place where you need to chop down wood and explode dynamites to reach while your train just steams ahead towards a wall. But if you want the right upgrades, you need to make the sacrifices. But you can't really afford the ultimate sacrifice of unrailing your train for them though. And after a couple of good bolts and a nice run to the train station, you'll finally get some more players joining you in the game. And these players will know exactly how to spend your hard-earned bolts, usually building the dynamite cart and causing a quite massive accident at some point. And as you progress into the game, you'll unlock various type of wagons and you can upgrade different wagons you have. But generally speaking, you will want a similar kind of setup where you have a water tank to cool down the train that you gotta keep cool with river water or it's gonna catch on fire. And you're gonna need some depot for your raw material like wood and iron to create tracks that you'll be able to extract out of your train. But as you upgrade the locomotives and unlock new wagons like the electricity wagons that boost up your dynamite into the golden bomb that literally explodes half the screen, There's so much variety because when you start, you gotta pick up the axe, you gotta pick up the pickaxe, you gotta grab the raw material and bring it into the train, take the tracks, lay them out. It's all hard work you have to do at the start, but as you unlock these new wagons, they'll start doing work for you, and you just gotta focus on clearing faster, faster, and faster, and always more, and eventually reach different biomes. But quite honestly, I've always played solo, and I didn't really play thousands of hours. Let's say this game, that there's a certain threshold limit of how much time you can actually spend playing this game, but clearly the game is very geared toward multiplayer, and I think it will be best that you actually pair up with fellow players, your friends, your family, your dog maybe, so that you can have a better communication system than what you have in the base game. It will also lead to a more cohesive action plan that will be implemented in the actual gameplay, so you already kind of have a good idea of where you're heading, what wood you need to cut. Whenever there's a golden bowl that shows up, you can communicate the information so one of the players can be dedicated to that task. You can also advise other players, hey, look out, the fire will catch anytime soon, or maybe we need more tracks, or we need to lay down that golden dynamite. But if you only have the emoticon from the basic game with random strangers that you have no idea how they'll play, think, or plan, or even maybe griefs you, it can be a little bit harder to get really deep into that game. And it's kind of my problem with this game, is I don't really have anybody that is quite interested enough to actually go and pay the 20 something dollars for the game and play with me. So I guess if you already have friends playing, then it's absolutely great. I see the full potential of having an organized and kind of competitive team set up just for this game. And you know what, this is pretty much what Unrailed is. It's all about the experience you're living either with your friends or any other strangers you're picking up in your games. And this is where the moral of life comes into the review of this game. In Unrailed, you discover that the importance is not the destination, but the journey you take to get there. And for all of that combined, I've got to grant to Unrailed that it is a train game unlike any other. Hopefully you have enjoyed this short review of Unrailed. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more. It helps a lot, way more than you think. Thanks for watching, and why not watch one of my other train game review that will be showing on screen. Thanks, and see you next time.